Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Professor Salmia at the Faculty of Mechanical Engineering. Okay, today I would like to introduce a course, MEC600, which is Engineers in Society. This is very important subject, especially all of you students going to be engineers, right? Before I proceed with the details of the course, I would like to introduce you to the team, team of lecturers teaching this course. There are 8 of us, myself, Dr. Salina, Dr. Bulan, who is the resource person. She is in charge of this course, as a resource person. We also have Professor Yupita, Dr. Wan Mazlina, Dr. Ali, Dr. Dr. Amirul, and finally Dr. Zainur. So the reason I tell you the other lecturers, because I would like to encourage you to meet them if you want to have different ideas, different from what I've taught in class. And some of them have more industrial experiences, and by meeting them for ideas and discussion whatsoever will enhance your knowledge. So feel free to meet them even though you're in my class. Okay, let's look at I'd like to first look at the course learning outcomes, what actually we wish to have at the end of this course. And this is very important. This is what we call the COs, course outcomes. Remember OBE? If you want to learn more about OBE, you can go to my recording. I have a specific video on OBE as well as on EAC. Now, what is important in OBE is the PEOs. Is the PEOs, Program Educational Objectives, and also the POs, Program Outcomes. We have 12 program outcomes which are specified in the Engineering Accreditation Manual. So you can also refer to that manual, the Program Education Manual produced by the Engineering Accreditation Council. The latest version is 2017. So what are the course outcomes that we wish to have, or wish the students to grasp at the end of the course? CO number 1 is recommend solution. You are able to recommend solution for engineering ethics, sustainable development and finance, components or processes that meet specified needs with appropriate consideration for public health and safety. Public health and safety, cultural, societal and environmental consideration. This is associated with PO number 3. Okay. The second course outcome is so that the students can study the reasoning informed by contextual knowledge to assess societal, health, safety, legal and cultural issues and the consequent responsibilities associated to the professional engineering practice. This is associated with PO number 6. And course outcome number 3, to identify the impact of professional engineering solutions to societal and environmental contexts and demonstrate knowledge and need for sustainable development. This is for PO number 7. Course outcome number 4, there are 5. This is the second last, is to propose ethical principles and commit to professional ethics, responsibilities and norms of engineering practice. And again, this is PO number 8. And finally, the course outcome number 5 is be able to explain the knowledge and understanding of engineering and management principles and apply them as a member and leader in a team to manage projects in multidisciplinary environments. And again, this is associated with PO number 12. Okay. Having this in mind, you have to ensure that as you progress through the course, you achieve this. Yeah, that's why we tell them at the beginning of the course, so you know what you want to get, and by knowing it, you are mindful as you learn the course. Yeah. Now this is a little bit of the course description. I just point out a few keywords here. This course covers the fundamentals of engineering ethics, sustainable development, and finance in the working environment. These include the Implementation Act and regulation for engineers in Malaysia. For this, we're also going to invite some speakers from outside, yeah, so that you can have a first-hand information from them. Okay. You also will learn about the Professionalism, Code of Ethics, Employment Act, Law of Contract, Employment Act, Bankruptcy Act, Cyber Law, and SPRM. Yeah? And we said that the course also emphasizes on the sustainable development, on economic sustainability, environmental sustainability, engineering economics, financial management for engineers, and so forth. Okay, so we will, again, I would stress this, there will be speakers from the industry, so you really have a good opportunity to ask them questions and get extra information, yeah, which is pertaining to the current situation out there. Okay, now we're going to move on to the lecture material. Please bear with me as I switch from one slide to the other, because I'm using a different platforms here. One is the online. For your information, this course is already MOOCed. Yeah, it is available in the open learning platform. All the materials are put there, and we do give you extra, like myself, I make videos, and this is also a good a good ground for you to have a known face-to-face lecture, because sometimes we have other engagement and we have to miss the class, so this way we can do something like a non face-to-face mode of engagement with students. Okay, I hope you appreciate that. Okay, let's look at the chapter 1. Yeah? This is chapter 1, or we call it module 1. It is about engineer in general, CSR, and project management. These are the three things that basically we wanted to stress on, yeah, in this module 1. One is the awareness of what it means to become an engineer, yeah? And also the CSR. CSR is very important, because this is how we engage with the society. That's why this course is named Engineers in Society. Yeah, engagement with the society is important, and it is often done through CSR. And finally, the project management. The skills in managing project is very important. If we have done some survey, the Faculty of Mechanical Engineering had done some survey, and many of the industry people out there believe that project management skill is one of the needed skill. Yeah, they love if students have this skill. It is sought after. Okay, so the subtopic for this module is engineer, CSR and project management. Number 1, that is the introduction. 1.1 impact CSR on economics, social, culture, and environmental, and as well as the on sustainability. We also talk about these CSR activities, done by the corporate people as well as done by our students, as part of their projects. This is really interesting. If later on I'll show you some of the at least one of the successful CSR project conducted by students, previous students who've taken this course. And finally, on project management, planning, budgeting, communicating, and also looking at risk. Risk assessment is one of the area which is very important and become one of the highlights of the ISO 9000. The latest version is looked into or addressed the risk assessment or risk management. Okay, all right. Now let me begin. By asking you what it means to be an engineer. What is an engineer? Think about it. Take 1 second to give some thoughts. What is an engineer? Now let's look at also a quote by William A. Wolf, who is the president of the International Academy of Engineering. He said, "A scientist always discovers new things, but an engineer works out how this thing can be used for human welfare and commercial culture." See? So there's by this quote, there's a differentiation between scientist and engineer. So if you look at here, engineer is more like the applied of the technology. We use the basic knowledge to come up with the technology, and this applied knowledge is actually put into good things for the benefit of human life. Something like that. And also the commercial culture. I mean, because engineers are hired in industry, and industry will not progress if there is no commercial value associated with their business. They always think about profits. They think about profits. Otherwise, they won't last. The business won't last if there's no profit. So the commercial elements is always there. So the engineers help the industry to basically gain profits. Okay, roles of an engineer. I'm going to describe this one because my recording is by 15 minutes. I have about 3 minutes here or 2 minutes, and then I will continue with another recording. Okay, roles of an engineer. Now, some says to some extent the engineers are also scientists. This is especially true if the engineers behave like a researcher, looking for new knowledge. Looking for new knowledge. Some engineers get involved in research and they get new knowledge, and based on that new knowledge, people produce technology. So if they do fundamental research, then they become more like a scientist. Now, besides research, it is commonly engineers engage in development or in design. If we talk about development, is actually transforming ideas or concept into production processes. And if you talk about design, there is a certain process in the design, and the engineer normally get involved in certain phases of that design. But if you want to consider a good design team, actually all the members of the design team should be engaged from the beginning, so they understand each other from the beginning. They can see things better and anticipate things better. Now I have 30 seconds now. Beside that, they also get in production and testing, and also sales, a bit of sales. And why do they engage in sales? Because they can explain things better. because they sometimes know the product better than the salesperson, so they do. Thank you so much. I will continue in another recording. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.